Welcome back to my Your Request series. On a 6-inch wooden dowel, we're going to attach all 11 cords using a lark's head knot. To tie a lark's head knot, fold your cord in half. Then, taking the loop end, you want to place that behind your wooden dowel. Then, with the long tail ends, you want to thread that through the loop and then pull taut. Okay, so let's attach the rest of them. For pixel patterns, I really like to work with yarn. I find that it's a lot less expensive using yarn than it is with rope. Plus, it comes in so many different colors. I will leave a link to my favorite brand in the description box below. Okay, to read our grid, each square represents a vertical double half hitch knot, and we start from the left all the way to the right. So snip off a long strand of your purple yarn. I like to work with 60 inches at a time, which is roughly about my arm span. And we're going to tie our first vertical double half hitch knot. To do this, place your yarn behind the first strand of cotton cord, and you want your long tail end on the right and your short tail end on the left. Make a loop on your right, wrap your tail end around and through the loop, and then you want to repeat one more time to complete your knot. And please note, if I'm ever going too fast for you, feel free to adjust the speed of this video by tapping the 3 dots on the top right corner. Alright, so I'm going to demonstrate the second knot as well, since the first one always looks a little bit different. And what you want to do is grab your yarn and place it behind your next strand of cotton cord. Form a loop on your right, wrap your tail end around and through the loop. This time cinch it up to the top. And then you want to repeat, creating a loop on your right, wrap your tail end around and through the loop. Every time I finish a row, I like to highlight it, that way I know exactly where I am in my pattern. Okay, so for the second row, we actually need to go back in the opposite direction. Grab the same strand of yarn as we were working with in the first row, and what you want to do is you want to place it behind the last strand of cotton cord, and you want to pull it over to the left, make a loop on your left, wrap your tail end around and through the loop, and repeat. So essentially, it's the same thing as the first row, only in reverse. Like I had mentioned at the start of this video, this is my Your Request series. So if you have a pattern request, please leave it in the comments below and I'll see what I can do for you. Oh, and it doesn't have to be pixel macrame patterns, it can be any patterns you like. Alright, moving along, as you can see, we completed all the purple. Now we're doing the brown, and we have to go back in the opposite direction. So keep your purple yarn down into the back of your work, and we're going to attach a brown cord right next to it, and we're going to attach it the same way we did at the very start of this pattern, only your loop is going to be on the left hand side this time. And on a side note, if you ever run out of length of your working yarn, this is the same way we're going to attach a new piece. Just be mindful of the direction that you're going. If you're working from left to right, you will always be tying forward-facing vertical double half hitch knots, and if you're working from right to left, you will be tying backward-facing vertical double half hitch knots. That is really hard to say. Okay, so moving along, if you ever find yourself in a position where you need to switch back to a previous color, all you have to do is run it behind your work. To do that, all you have to do is grab your previous cord and then carry on like you were before. Just make sure you're not pulling it too taut, otherwise it might cause your work to pucker. Okay, so carry on zigzagging down your pattern. Wow, how rewarding is that final knot? Okay, so let's flip our work over and we're going to clean up the mess on the back. Grab any 2 strands of yarn that's close together and we're going to tie double overhand knots. Then just snip off the excess yarn. This is the quickest and easiest way to clean up the back of your macrame wall hanging. However, it is not the most professional. If you'd like to see the more professional way to finish off the back of your wall hanging, as well as how to sign your work, I'll leave the link to that tutorial on the screen now, and I'll see you over there.